Hey, Chad at Turner's Warehouse, and today I want to talk about when I use epoxy resin versus urethane resin. Now, the two I'm going to talk about are Alumilite for urethane and Liquid Diamonds for epoxy, and why I use each. For urethanes, I like to do color casting where I mix colors. I really love to do color drops. I like doing hybrid stuff, so stabilized with resin, and that could be a burl or a chunk of wood or something like choya. And then also color mixes and blocks like this. Now, the reason I use urethane for those is a couple of reasons. One, I find it really easy to get good color mixture. I have a short working time, so I can wait till the end of my working time, do my mixes, and they bond really well without blurring. With color drops, I have my clear that I pour, and I go into color drops in another video if you're interested. But then I can pour my color, and I have a short window for when the color sets, so I don't get blur, and that's how I can get good color separation. I find that urethane works really well when doing hybrids because under pressure, the stabilized wood, it seems to react and bond really well with, and it works really well, so I like it. Now, epoxies, I have a few things that I really love to use epoxy for. The biggest one is clear cast. So anytime I do a tube in, whether it be watch parts or label cast or whatever the case may be, I like epoxy because I feel it bonds to the surface of the item better. I don't get the same bond with Alumilite or urethane, so I use epoxy for that. Same reason I would do that for a color pencil blank because there's a lot of surface area in there and the epoxy really sticks well to it. The other thing is micarta. So if I'm making micarta, I would always use epoxy between layers. The biggest reason there is when you are putting all these layers together, you need a lot of time. And epoxy gives you 30 to 40 minutes of working time versus Alumilite or urethanes that give you 7 to 10 minutes. And it is hard to stack up layers if you're under such a time crunch. Lastly, I like epoxies for fill-in stuff. So this is a 3D printed blank, and I like to be able to fill in the different things with a resin. And in this case, I use epoxy. And the reason being is I have plenty of time to mix or to pour them. I can pour one and let it sit and come back and pour the next one. The epoxy bonds really well to the 3D print, and I don't have to worry about separation. So those are the reasons I like to use epoxy versus urethane. It's come from a lot of trial and error, so give it a try, see what you like. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let us know if you have any questions.